are a father-son team, and our histories is that my dad has, for many years, given me a lot of life lessons, and there have been a lot of lessons I've learned um, going up through the ranks of from a child to an adult. And what we do is talk about it a lot. So we thought we'd bring that to you guys. And if there's anyone who has any kind of problems or issues that pop up throughout their life, we hope to kind of provide, a discussion on these things so that, people have some other opinions to listen to. So that's the mission of Old Heads. And today, what we are talking about is designing your life, um, and how that fits into your mission and your will in comparison to the rest of what the world has in store for you. So, here we're really going to talk about how you need to invest in your future and invest in who you are as opposed to what, others might have for you. So, do you want to start off with that?
Yeah, it's very it's a very close topic to me because I believe that throughout my life I've been in control to a certain degree on designing my life. So what I want to talk about is how do you get the ball rolling. So I think the first step, one of the steps you need to do is be self-aware that you are in control of your life. So if you're going to be in control of your life, you have to start learning how to design what you need and want in life. So when you do that, so how do you feel about that, Malik?
Well, what comes up to me is the barriers to designing your own life. What stops you from going out and doing what you want to do is your sometimes family members who have a plan for you despite what you want. Your job, your society, which says that you can't do this or can't do that. There's a lot of things that pop up which tell you what you can and can't do. And there is a turning point for every young person that you have to invest in your own self. You have to invest in what you have and your plan for yourself. And it's very hard to come to that realization because sometimes what the world has in store for you can be overwhelming. Um, so that's what hits me is that it's easy to say design your life, but there are a lot of real problems which I'm sure a lot of you might face, which might prevent your inner voice from saying what you should and shouldn't do. So I think we should start by deconstructing why you need to listen to yourself and not the voice of others. So is there anything that pops
Yes,
up?
because if you get in the habit of handing your life over to for others to dictate, then they'll do that, and it may not work out for you. So I want to be personally responsible for my own life and live and die by whatever I decide. Now you have to live within the rules of society to a certain degree, but you have to have your own set of values that you follow and understand what's important to you, what matters to you, and what you want to do with your life. So if I hand over my life to you to run, then you will run it for me, and you'll tell me what to do, where to go, and how to act. So for me, I like to take the ownership and say I want to design my own life and pursue the things that I think that's important to me. So I take that responsibility on.
Mm.
And once you take the responsibility on, you will need to take it serious and try to do the best job you can.
Mm. I think other people have a lot of horror stories for what will happen if you don't do what they want you to do.
Mm.
They'll tell you that if you don't do this career or this job or this endeavor, then you're going to be in some bad spot. And sometimes you need the courage, or some might even say foolishness, to say, I'm going to do what I want to do. And
Mm.
When I say foolishness, it doesn't mean you make a foolish decision, but you need the energy of rebellion. You need to rebel against some of the voices which want to control you. And that's a hard thing to do. And it's a hard thing to do for some people who might have parents who are very overbearing, or hard thing to do if you're in a very competitive field, which demands of you, all these things. So I would I would start by aligning with what you want. And this is something I had to do recently is I value a social life a lot more than what I thought I did. And for me, I believe that from consuming a lot of YouTube and media when I was young, that I had to go straight into the workforce and become an entrepreneur and do all these things and be a go-getter. And now in my mid-20s, I'm learning that all of the kind of social experiences which I had were valuable, and I was not designing my life correctly. I was carrying out an orthodoxy that was handed to me. So designing your life is about connecting with what you desire. What do you want? And you have to be honest about it. What do you want? What do you want deep down, but you fear you'll be judged for? All of these things. It really requires a lot of self reflection and clarity, which is something we talked about earlier.
Yeah, designing your life is a skill. So you're going to make mistakes.
Mm,
It's a learning curve as you go through life. You're going to learn certain things work for you, certain things didn't work for you. And it's all about your philosophy. So as you grow in life, your philosophy change. I've discovered some of the things the way I used to think was working for me. Some of the things the way I used to think was not working for me. So that's life. So as you get older and wiser, you start to fine tune your philosophy. So that makes you more um, efficient in designing your life. But you best believe that while you're in the process of designing your life, you're gonna make mistakes. That's a part of life. But I prefer to make the mistakes on my own with the help of you can. It's okay to incorporate family members for ideas on how to live your life, or if you have an important event in your life that you want to discuss with your family or friends. That's being smart. But to hand my life over to someone else to dictate is a different thing. So the art of designing your own life is being conscious that you are in control, and so you set the standards, you set the values, and you set the ideas on how you want to live your life, and you pursue it to the best of your ability, making sure that they're positive things, not negative things, positive things you're trying to achieve in your life.
Do you have any stories of times where people had a plan written out for you and you said, this doesn't fit with me. I'm going to do what I want to do. Do you have any stories like that? Or
Not really. Only time you're gonna have, for me personally, I have something like that is in the workplace.
mm,
Now the boss has a certain standard and protocol that you have to follow, and you follow those rules. But you have to find ways to operate in a positive way within the set of rules. You apply your rules within the rules, so it doesn't break the rules.
mm,
Don't go in there trying to change the rules that's already set and just disregard rules within the workplace. Then you're gonna find problems. So it's about having the skill to work in a work environment within that set of rules, but also applying your own values and set of rules and how you operate and how you maneuver in that work environment.
mm,
So for me personally in life, I didn't have the overbearing parents. I didn't have a controlling environment. I always control my own environment.
mm,
I would think about what I wanted to do in life. Where am I going? When do I want to get there?
mm,
And start putting it in place. You have to make moves, designs. What do you want to be in 5 years? What do you want to be in 10 years? And start plotting out steps on how to get there. Now,
mm,
society is going to, as soon as you start doing that, society is going to get in the way and say, no, you're not allowed to do that. Or you can't do that, or you will not do that.
mm.
So you have to learn how to get over hurdles, get under hurdles, maneuver around obstacles, and still be moving forward in the direction that you're designing.
mm, mm. Yeah, I have a friend who unfortunately has is from a culture where not just the family have a say in what you do in your life, but your whole network and family, friends, and all of this are always watching um, what you do. And he did a very courageous thing, and he changed the course of his life. He was originally studying um, something he didn't care about, and he was good at, and would have brought in money, but it didn't fit with him. And he decided to change into medicine, which to a lot of people and to me sounded like, well, you know, medicine is also very respectable. It's not like that. To me, it wasn't that courageous, but I'm not from that culture. And to him, it was a rough decision, a very rough decision, which he was very brave for making, because it meant that he had to start again after years of studying. And now he is still studying, doing his thing, but he is much more aligned with what he thinks he was put here to do. So
Mm,
there's a lot of potential on the side of, what the world has in store for you.
mm,
And when I say the world, I'm not meaning your job and your boss and your family, but I mean what you were put here to do, like what the universe rather has in store for you
mm.
is, in line with what you desire. So, um, I,
Yeah, a
yeah,
lot of people are trapped in the culture.
mm,
So if you have a culture or you live within a culture that has always been this way and this is the way you have to live your life, that's tough.
mm,
And that's a challenge that a lot of people have to get through. I didn't have that challenge of culture. I only had a personal challenge. So it's really tough when you have culture and your parents from that culture and they want to live your life through that culture when it's really your life to live. It's really tough.
mm,
So you have to have the skill set to persevere and be the person you want to become, not what your culture dictates what you want to become, in my opinion.
yeah.
So it's tough when you have a culture challenge.
Definitely, definitely, definitely is. Um, but I think that concludes it. Um, the points we brought up were that the world has something in store for you. You have something in store for you, and you should invest in what you want. And you will sometimes it will set you back, but there's no other way around doing what you were put here to do.
There you go. Well, if you like what you're listening to, hit the subscribe button and follow Old Head Mindset Podcast.